cornerstone to any successful BILT is the annual KSA meeting, where employers convene to vote on and discuss entry-level job skills, looking ahead 12 to 36 months into the future. KSAs are knowledge, skills, and abilities.
The best thing to do is have everybody sit in a round table so they can all see each other, and have a facilitator either in the middle or somewhere in the circle.
So we put our BILT around a big giant U to encourage dialogue. And we also make sure to always have a conference room in the middle to allow those who are calling in to participate.
We meet pretty frequently, I mean, several times a year. And every time we meet, it's something different. There's something new. There's, oh, we need to add this in. Oh, that's not really that important anymore. And because of that, the courses have to constantly change.
Well, one of the biggest advantages you have by engaging the business and technology team is that their knowledge has to not only stay current, it has to be looking forward 2 to 3 years in the future. Whereas the professors and instructors are very busy doing a great job of teaching the curriculum, it doesn't often leave enough time to really go out and do the research, attend the conferences, and do the future studies work of how that will impact businesses moving forward.
The KSA meeting consists of 2 parts. The first step is the vote.
So we used to use hand votes, but now we do it all electronically. It's all online. You vote with your phone or your laptop. It's on a 1 to 4 scale, 1 being don't need it, 4 being gotta have it. And once your BILT is familiar with how that all works, you can't have them vote before the meeting and then discuss the results during the meeting.
It's so interesting because some leaders say that some things aren't very important while others say that they're extremely important. So we have to really kind of work together and compromise on those things and see where those play a role in our businesses.
You quickly see that everyone's perspective is a little bit different and the value of something is different from company to company. Well, that's where the voting comes in. So we're not going to come to a consensus on this is the answer, but what you can come to is say, well, where's the 70% versus 30%? The voting simply helps us know where the bulk of the industry is going, and we don't need to quibble over, or we don't need to make everyone come to the same conclusion, because that would actually never happen.
Consensus is definitely not the goal. They don't have to agree. That's why you're doing the vote.
And a meeting that can be so hard to moderate and really get the feedback that you need becomes so easy with this online system and automatically getting the results and showing live.
So your spreadsheet editor is always in the room with you, laptop open, listening to the discussion, typing notes on the document alongside the vote tallies. Typically, the editor is also revising the KSAs in real time as directed by the BILT.
Their voting is going and what are the skills that really matter for most of them, and the skills that are getting behind, and having this conversation with them really makes it meaningful, impactful, and really in 1 meeting can be done. Doesn't need to be 3 months just to analyze results. Could be on the same meeting, 2 to 4 hours, and the whole process is done.
After the KSA vote, then the BILT members discuss the results. Any topic is open for discussion, but you always want to look at items with low average votes and items with a split vote, with some employers ranking it high and some ranking it low.
I think I got more out of the discussion than I actually did the voting. I recorded the whole session and I'd go back and I would listen to what they said, because their discussions are really, really important.
They go through the voting process, but then we need to talk about it because each industry member has a different viewpoint of why it's important to them and different skills.
The great thing is that you're letting the BILT members edit that spreadsheet during the meeting in real time. So if there's something they don't like, they can edit it. If something's missing, they can add it.
So the voting helps to see where the average is, but the conversation is as meaningful as the voting to really have deeper conversations.
I think for the BILT members, they like to know what their colleagues think as well is important, because all of us are in our own kind of area in IT. And I think it's interesting the discussions that they have, our BILT members will have with each other. Sometimes they argue with each other, which is actually also sometimes kind of fun. Never out of control or anything like that, but it's interesting because it draws out their perspectives a little more thoroughly, I guess, than it would be if I just handed them, here's a degree sheet.
The facilitator really needs to be able to corral that group and keep everyone on task. More specifically, a successful facilitator needs to do 3 things. Be adept at allowing BILT members to talk about what they want to talk about, rather than defending the current curriculum. Understand how to keep the BILT discussion moving along to gather as many broad employer perspectives as possible. This includes both respecting BILT members who want to talk and calling on those who may be more quiet. And politely manage the overall meeting time to make sure both the voting and the discussion are completed within the scheduled time.
You can't have one student that talks all the time because then the other ones don't want to talk. You just have to be aware that, yes, there is usually one that dominates. So it's up to the facilitator to make sure to involve the others in the discussion.
Remember also to end your BILT meeting when you say you're going to end it. Employer time is valuable and you want to respect it.
They need to know that the time they're committed to will end at the right time. So I think it's very important to make sure you start on time and end on time.
We always respect the BILT members' time. So if the meeting agenda says to adjourn at 10 a.m., by 9:55, we're wrapping things up to end right on time.
The KSA vote and discussion provides a structured process for gathering actionable employer feedback on entry-level skills.